Pixar's first ever prequel, Monsters University was not directed by Pete Docter like Monsters Inc. was, or by anyone at Pixar. Instead, it was directed by a new guy named Dan Scanlon, who did the story for the bonus short film in the Cars DVD, Mater and the Ghost Light. The film takes place before the events of Monsters Inc. We see a young Mike Wazowski on a field trip to Monsters Inc. and watches a scarer go and scare a kid in the human world, which causes Mike to want to become a scarer. One opening credit scene later, Mike gets off the bus that arrives at Monsters University. He gets a tour and shares a room with Randall from the first movie. He goes to his first class in the scaring school and meets the teacher of the class, the headmaster of the college, and of course, Sully. They then meet each other later that night and chase after a mascot to a different college. Sully gets offered a position into a group and Mike gets rejected and gets told that he hasn't got what it takes to be a scarer. So one montage scene later, we have their final exam and both Sully and Mike get kicked off the scaring school by the headmaster. Sully is because he's not really taking the scaring school seriously, and Mike is because he's been told that he's not scary enough. And then later on, they join the scare games with a group of loser monsters called Uzma Kappa, and so they have to take part in every task in the scare games in order to win and join back in the scare games. But if they lose, they had to leave Monsters University. I have a couple of questions about some plot holes between this film and the first Monsters Inc. film. In the first film, Mike mentions being in the 4th grade with Sully, so why do they treat this as the first time they've met each other? I think this would have worked better if they haven't seen each other for a long time or something. Also, have they forgotten that there's already a prequel story to Monsters Inc. in the form of a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PC game called Monsters Inc. Scare Island? I've played a little bit of that, and I think this is a little better. I'm talking, of course, about the game, but not by too much. I'm not really a person for prequels unless they are done right, and the concept makes more sense. Another thing I should bring up that they didn't think about the predictability. Since this is a prequel after all, they do things that make us see something happen, but it doesn't actually play out, as the first movie proves it wrong. And the writing isn't the strong point of this movie. Mike is determined to be a scarer and won't stop till he gets his dream come true. Yeah, that's nice to see, but it isn't thought out well. I do like that he has a dream after seeing someone do it when he was a child, but again, it isn't thought out well comparing to the first movie. There's a scene where he has to pair up with a buddy, and that could have been a perfect timing to show Sully as a childhood friend to make more sense. But no, they don't. Sully mainly cares about himself most of the time and wants to become better than Mike at what he does. And his reasoning is because he's a Sullivan, since his father is apparently a really famous scarer. Well, I guess we have to have someone like that in a college movie. But why Sully? Couldn't we have someone else do it? Like, maybe Randall or something? Speaking of which, Randall starts out friendly to Mike as best friends since they are both roommates, which I guess is a nice addition. He then betrays Mike so he can be in the group that Sully was kicked out of just because he wasn't taking the scaring really seriously, and being with the cool kid. Well, at least we know a reason why he hates Mike and Sully during the second act, I guess. Then there's the new characters we've never seen before. First up are the other college kids. Yeah, they're the pretty standard college kids. Hot girls, college tough guys, partying, you get the point. Then there's the headmaster, Dean Hardsgravel. She has a little bit of a past, but it isn't fully explained. And she can be a bit too serious for both a college film and a Monsters Inc. film. And no, she isn't someone who I think would be a villain. She may do things to question if Mike is really a scarer. You can already tell where I'm going with this. It already leads into predictability of what's gonna happen next as soon as he says that kind of thing. And then there's the people in Uzma Kappa. First up we have Don Carlton, who was a salesman but then joins the Kappa. He's pretty innocent. though there's not much to say other than he's pretty sticky a lot of the time. He's kinda like an old man nerd or something, I guess. Next there's both Terry with a Y and Terry with an I. Both of them are Siamese twins. One likes to dance, while the other one is really embarrassed about what the other one is doing. Though they do like to work together. Then there's Art. No, I'm not confusing him with the subject, that's actually the character's name. He's chill and a bit silly. He wants to hug with you, laugh with you,
and cry with you.
He apparently went to jail and has an extra toe. Okay. Yeah, he isn't explained pretty much either. And then there's Squishy, who doesn't do much other than just sneak up on Mike without him knowing, just to add some comedy. Why couldn't these guys be the main characters? I would love to see how these guys are in these kind of things. Like maybe get their own movie or something. Heck, maybe even a TV show. But no, it has to be around Mike and Sully. The animation is well done. It looks even better, like the characters look way better here than they do in the first movie. But I still believe the animation in the first movie is still really good. But the animation here is even better. Even all the new monster characters we get to see, they are pretty creative too. Like with their designs and all that stuff. And the locations we get are gorgeous as well. I may talk about the animation really quickly now, but that's because the animation always improves in Pixar films, even if it's just by a little bit. Randy Newman returns as the composer, and what he does here is really good. I wouldn't say it's even better than when he did the music in the previous film, or the Toy Story films, but this is still really good stuff from him. Still uses the feel of the previous Monsters Inc. and even a college film, even though I've only seen 2 college films. This movie, and one with Ryan Reynolds in it. By the way, what's the name of that film anyways? Someone let me know in the comments. Monsters University isn't a bad movie, but it is pretty weak. I would let it slide for being Pixar's first and only prequel as of now. But no, I'm not letting it off that easily. It wasn't well thought out, and it fits the standards of an American college, from what I've heard stories of, or from that film with Ryan Reynolds. I would only say watch it if you haven't seen it, but only just watch it once, or if you are doing a Pixar marathon of your own, like I am. Pixar's first prequel isn't something I would watch all the time. Maybe it needs different writers that know how to do prequels, or get the original creators or something.